Forget 100 men versus one gorilla. This movie's got a mouse that solos everybody. I'm Seth, and this is day 25 of 365, reviewing every movie I've seen in theaters with the stubs to prove it. Today, it's Prince Caspian. Question of the day, who's your favorite talking animal in fiction? This one's directed by Andrew Adamson, and this one goes way harder than I remembered it. When I think about the fantasy contemporaries at the time, none of them are doing full-scale epic war sequences. Prince Caspian, in the bag. Harry Potter's barely Leviosa-sawing his way through his movies. And we've got kids crossing swords in actual army battles. It's kind of dope. I saw this one after reading the books, and I was actually kind of surprised at how faithful it was to the books, reading them so recently going in to watch it. That always stood out to me as a kid. Watching it now, I totally forgot that Peter Dinklage and Warwick Davis are in this. Like, this is an absolutely amazing side cast. And then Reepicheep's intro scene, oh my god, I absolutely love it. A reference to the Lost World Jurassic Park, and then he's got such a funny interaction with Prince Caspian to start. Oh, what a great intro. Oh my god, Reepicheep is my guy. You could learn a thing or two about loyalty from Reepicheep. In my Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe video, I made fun of this series for basically being Harry Potter for Christians. If that metaphor is held to, then this one's the progression from Christian into Christian nationalist. I'm not saying that's the undertones of the movie. I'm just saying they really cranked up the war aspect from the last movie into this one. It's honestly not a wonder that when we get to Voyage of the Dawn Treader, that one doesn't do well, because that's a pirate adventure book. So of course the movie's gonna end up being a totally different direction from this Prince Caspian war epic. It's kind of crazy that Peter Dinklage is here, and this has all the trappings of Game of Thrones. If you look at it through the right lens, you've got the inter-family intrigue and babies being born in secret and people being snuck out in the middle of the night into the magical woods, and there's just a lot here to like. This is a stew of a movie. It's really faithful to the book. It ends up being like a wartime epic for kids. I do remember that aspect of the book too. It really felt high stakes when you get into the scene where they're being attacked by the fantastical creatures from the evil side, things that we recognize from the night that Aslan died in the last movie. I remember that scene in the book in particular being like absolutely harrowing, and to see it represented on the screen so well, I'm impressed. I don't know what to say other than I'm impressed. There is an issue in the canon where Prince Caspian is much older in this than he ends up being in the book, and I think that that change is understandable for the tone that this movie ends up taking. It is more grown up. Like, I forgot how warlike this movie was. The area I would have to say is weakest watching it recently is the getting the band back together aspect. I think that's a thing in the book that you feel a little more led into it, whereas in the movie it all kind of gets dropped in so quickly that some characters are piecing together the timeline, and there's a lot of complication to get cleared up, and by the end we still have to take out a opposing army. And this is a fantasy series that's kind of all tied in knots, right? Like, there are side stories and prequels, and the final battle is basically the Book of Revelation. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's really trippy stuff if you read across the entire series. I mean, by the time you get to the final book, we haven't seen the Pevensies for 2 books, and not even all the kids show up in the final book. I know this is Narnia deep lore. I could make more videos about it if you guys want. I love those books dearly. I've always said if I was going to adapt any of the Narnia books, I wouldn't want to do any of the mainline ones. I'd either want to do The Horse and His Boy, because it's a Prince of Persia movie if you look at it sideways, or I'd want to do The Magician's Nephew, because there's so much cool multiverse sci-fi stuff going on from a fantastical lens that I think it would be a really amazing thing to represent. And then it's got like the story of Eden in the finale, so it's just a really crazy fantastical thing. To wrap this all back around Prince Caspian is the war book. Every book has its own kind of genre that C.S. Lewis wanted to dip into. The first one being I made the joke that's an isekai, our first time adventuring into this new world. Prince Caspian is a war book. The next one is a pirate adventure. The one after that's an epic mythic quest. And then the final battle ends up, if I remember correctly, it's about an orangutan con artist. I'm not joking. we're kind of buzzing through these Narnia movies. I know we still got Voyage of the Dawn Treader ahead. We're kind of in the middle point right now. Taking a look back, I think the first movie will stand out as being the best among this trilogy. Looking forward, I know that Voyage of the Dawn Treader is also really accurate to the book, but the book's very lumpy and lopsided. It's a pirate adventure, so it hobbles along, literally. That's part of the structure of the storytelling. And I remember that maybe not working as well with a movie. But again, they stay lore accurate by the end, because I know Reepicheep walks through the ocean into another world, which is like bonkers stuff by the time you get to it in these movies, and then they don't continue the movies after that one. So from the safety here of Prince Caspian, this is a cool cast, this is a cool setup, the action sequences are fantastic, the effects are still amazing. There's the like sophomore slump laziness maybe that you can feel here, but it really fits. This is a trilogy that functionally feels really, really good and at home together. I'm curious if Greta Gerwig ends up sticking around to make more than one movie in the series for the upcoming reboot, if that's something that they'll pass along from director to director, if they're incepting it as like a larger story franchise to be built. I wouldn't be shocked if they do Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and then jump back and do The Magician's Nephew and like really change things up and give us a brand new story to rehook people from a different angle. That's the way I would approach it. If they don't do that and they do Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then Prince Caspian, I'm really curious to see what Prince Caspian looks like remade, I guess is the long way to get here. If you go more book accurate, this is a child king story, which I think is something that could be told really, really well. Honestly, David Lowery, having just done Star Wars stuff for kids, I could see doing a really fantastic fucking version. David Lowery's Prince Caspian, I don't know. The Green Knight who, baby? That one's for all my A24 nerds. I think that's going to do it for this one. If you're watching this on TikTok or YouTube, please go check out my Patreon. It would really mean a lot to me to help support this journey as we go through this whole bag of ticket stubs. And hey, I'm giving these away to the people that sign up. Hello and welcome to our newest patron, Jared. I'm going to shout out at MediaBite. You guys can check out that page. Jared's a friend of mine. I really appreciate the support. The people that love me will be the ones that help support first. So if you want to jump in with Jared and get early access to my reviews, access to a podcast, the list of all the movies that we're going to be covering so you can get a look ahead and see what things you might be excited for. All that, like I said, is over on my Patreon. The link's in my bio. Give me a follow on whatever you're watching this on. Up next is Kung Fu Panda. I'm really excited to talk about Jack Black while he's in such a huge moment in the spotlight right now for Minecraft. I have a Jack Black tattoo. This one feels like it's a home run right up our alley. I know Kung Fu Panda's all gas because all of those movies are really fucking fantastic. All right, I'm all gassed out. I will see you tomorrow.